Hungary's ruling Fedez party has proposed dramatic constitutional amendments that would enshrine traditional gender roles in legislation governing marriage and adoption. The draft proposals were introduced at 1 minute before midnight on the back of emergency COVID-19 legislation. Government critics say Prime Minister Viktor Orban is using the pandemic to consolidate power. Angela Bentz reports.
Hungarians were waiting for the latest restrictions to limit the spread of the coronavirus. What they got, in addition, were sweeping constitutional changes. Right-wing leader Viktor Orban has specified marriage as being between a man and woman. Adoption rules have been tightened, the state of emergency extended, and protest temporarily banned.
The Parliament has given us the extraordinary powers, and we have made the new regulations. Restrictions are applied from midnight today. I'm asking you all to abide by them. If we follow the rules and if we stand united, we'll succeed together again.
Also causing concern are new proposals which may limit political opposition to the ruling Fidesz party. With elections scheduled for 2022, parties will be required to field candidates in at least 50 constituencies. This will severely impede smaller parties who may be forced to consolidate resources to campaign against Fidesz. Andrew Lebentz, Euronews.
Viktor Orban has long been at loggerheads with the European Union over the rule of law and what Brussels see as his illiberal policies. This latest move is sure to provoke yet another fight. Well, let's find out more and head to Brussels to speak to our correspondent, Maeve McMahon. Maeve, morning to you. Is Viktor Orban here just really testing the waters with how much he can change to the constitution under the eyes of Brussels? And what can the European Commission actually do?
Good morning, Rosie. Well, the European Commission can do very little. Like everything, it would be up to the EU member states themselves to bring Viktor Orban in line. And don't forget that Viktor Orban is a member of the European People's Party, the same party as Angela Merkel and Sebastian Kurz in Austria. Whenever the European Commission does try to do something or does make any sort of a comment towards Hungary, it emboldens Viktor Orban even more, like back in September when Vera Jourova, that's the European Commissioner for Transparency and Values, called Hungary an ill democracy and presented a worrying report about the state of rule of law in Hungary. But back then, Viktor Orban actually sent a letter to Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission President, calling for her resignation. Now today at 12:30 here in Brussels, we will see Vera Jourova alongside the European Commissioner for Equality, Commissioner Dalli, present their much anticipated report and plan on equality and LGBTI. Now this will be welcomed, this report, by the LGBTI community, who are extremely alarmed by the latest proposals from Viktor Orban to amend the constitution. And MEPs from the Greens and from the Liberals, who I've been speaking to, believe that this latest move from Viktor Orban's government is really him using the COVID-19 pandemic to really grab hold to power and make sure that he holds on to power post-2022. And they say the icing on the cake, Rosie, they can't even take to the streets to protest due to the restrictions that mean gatherings are not allowed and a curfew is clearly in place.
Just this week, as the EU finalised its budget, the Hungarian government threatened really to scupper it. If they did, that would be a bit of a win for Viktor Orban, would it?
Indeed, Viktor Orban, who likes writing letters to Brussels, he took his pen out again to write a letter to Charles Michel, the head of the European Council, saying that he was furious that these payments from the EU budget between now and 2027 would be linked to respecting rule of law. Don't forget, in fact, that Budapest, the Hungarian government, is a net receiver of the EU budget and not a net contributor. So Viktor Orban, very concerned there, really. Now, this is keeping people here in Brussels awake at night because they've been working day and night for the last couple of weeks and months in order to strike a deal with the European Parliament on that budget. And even Manfred Weber said that Viktor Orban would just have to confer really to these rules and regulation and that he should have nothing to fear if he is respecting the rule of law. Don't forget that Manfred Weber is, of course, the head of the European People's Party in the European Parliament. So expect a bit of a collision course over the next couple of days between Brussels and Budapest once again.
Maeve, thank you very much. Our correspondent there in Brussels.